Back here on 1160 AM, 103.1 FM, WMET, you're listening to the Guadalupe Radio Network. Catholicism on the Beltway. Hope your Monday is going just great. And if you're a little down, I know that our next guests will brighten your spirit. You heard a song off of their latest album coming out of this break. It's called You'll Never Walk Alone, and we're joined by the music group Armonia. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So it's very exciting news. You just released your second album. It's called With Hope in Your Heart. Talk about the process that you went through making this second album and how it differs from your first debut album.
Sure. So we released this album back in February, and it really was a labor of love. It's longer than the first album. You've got a little more content, and I would say that the diversity of this album makes it stand out a little bit more too. We've got musicals, we've got kind of more classic music, jazz, and a lot of different varieties, sacred too. So that's one of the things that we think makes this album so special.
And then the song "You'll Never Walk Alone." Like I said, we just heard it. It's so beautiful. Bernadette, can you provide a little context on the background of that song and what that means to you all as a group?
Sure. Well, actually, funnily enough, I was the one who suggested to the girls that we add this song on. I think I've heard it growing up many times over the years. It's in the classic musical carousel. But I remember hearing it recently when Josh Groban did a version of it, and it really hit me differently when I heard it. And just the message of the song is it's so simple yet so powerful, and just really does allude to that, higher power that, we do have God watching over us. We really are never alone, and it really is fitting for this time. We really didn't do it intentionally, but if it helps people, just remember that, even though we're so isolated right now, that they are not alone. There is not only community, but there is, the love of God that will steer them through. So it's a song that's really close to my heart, and I know it's close to the girls' heart too. So.
Mary Rivers, Rachel DiMartino, and Bernadette Corso are guests. They're the trio that comprise the music group Armonia. Just released their second album. You can check it out, and you can order it on all the websites where you normally get your music, but you can check out all the stuff on their website, harmoniamusicofficial.com. Rachel, with the title of the album, With Hope in Your Heart, a gorgeous, soaring collection of timeless songs that are sure to inspire and delight. As we now move into our second month of quarantining in place, how important is it that people continue to listen to music such as this album that inspires, that uplifts, that brings people joy?
I think uplifting, hope, and joy are some of the three most important words that we need to focus on in this crazy time. We're on a bit of a transition. Some of us have taken on new jobs because we've lost primary jobs. There are people who have children at home who are showing needs that were not present before. And this big transition really does throw us off balance. And I think something that will always remain is the beauty of music. And I think that the girls and I are very proud of what we have made with our music so far. It's something that we really treasure in our accomplishments, and we are overjoyed to share that with the world. So we would be so happy if people listen to not only our music, but other uplifting music. We're not the only artists out there who like making encouraging music. So we are very proud of what we've done so far. And we really do understand and appreciate the value of quality time with people that we love, and putting on a favorite song.
Now, speaking of that, Mary, on your YouTube page, you girls are doing something very unique to keep your own spirits uplifted, but to also reach your audience during this quarantine. What are you guys doing on your YouTube page?
Sure. So we are doing something that we're calling the quarantine sessions, and we've been posting through our Instagram and Facebook as well videos whether it's the three of us singing together remotely or each of us individually doing covers of just songs that we love, that we're performing from home and sharing that beauty and positivity and joy with others. And, like Rachel said, the beauty of music is definitely one of those things that is unchanging. And there's something so universal about music. And obviously we know that beauty is something that is really deeply linked to truth. And our heart longs for that. The human heart is made for truth and beauty. And of course, we know that comes from God, who is truth and love and beauty and all of those things. So things that are authentically beautiful, really beautiful, that kind of points us towards truth and the Lord. And, being able to share that, whether it's through sacred or secular music, that's really a joy. And so, we've been having a lot of fun and pleasure ourselves sharing that with other people. And, some of the feedback that we've gotten too has been really lovely, that people are feeling more hopeful when they're able to connect with that sense of beauty and hope. This time is so isolating and it can feel really lonely and hopeless, but, we know that there is always hope and suffering, even though it's kind of meaningless unto itself. If we can invite God into that, if we can invite a sense of purpose into it, then all of a sudden it's transformed. And we know that good always comes out of suffering. So, I think all of those things are a big part of why, we're sharing that and trying to continue that, especially considering that some of our future performances right now are put on hold. We're really happy to still connect with, the people who follow us through that.
Absolutely. And I wanted to talk about your performances. You have some clips on your Facebook page, facebook.com/Armonia Music Official. But just going down the list of your past events, you all have gotten yourselves out there. Talk about the process it's been, because I believe it's been 5 years since you started the trio. And now you're getting out there and you're performing on a regular basis. Talk about the transition that it's become from, you starting off as a trio in college to now you're getting out multiple times a month performing for the community.
So it really does help to have some people already in the business who can help you as kind of like a mentor. We've gotten really lucky to study music at our university, and we sang in a university's choir all 4 years. So we essentially got training 3 times a week for about an hour and a half. With that avenue, our professor really helped us open the doors and got us some new names and really helped us network to find other people in our area who are already in the music business so we could shake hands with them and hopefully get some programs started. And that is honestly how we got our start. We are growing in confidence every month, every day, every week. And if it weren't for the great people that we could begin this journey with, I don't know if I know I'm speaking for myself, I don't know if I would have had the confidence to do it on my own. So I'm really thankful that I have 2 of my best friends, my sisters, next to me, as well as a big influence from other people who have helped us to get started. And now that we are more comfortable being on our own 2 feet, we are more than happy to keep on going with this journey and get ourselves out there.
1160 AM, 103.1 FM, WMET, the Guadalupe Radio Network, Catholicism on the Beltway. We're talking with Mary Rivers, Rachel DiMartino, Bernadette Corso, the trio that make up the music group Armonia, who just released their second album, With Hope in Your Heart. You released it on February 29th, the Leap Day. Was that planned, especially for that day? And talk about all the planning and the process that goes into a release of an album.
Sure, I can definitely share that process. So it was kind of a funny coincidence about the Leap Day release date. It was a mix of, what day worked best for us / how we were able to coordinate with, our CD distributor and our digital music distributor with the release date. So, it's one of those things that we've learned finally being on the other side of, the music business. And I think all of us have kind of become businesswomen in our own way and learned a lot about the music industry and all the background stuff that goes into it through that. But, it was took about a year and a half total to put together, from recording to releasing. And we drove all the way up to New Jersey.
Wow.
Maybe about 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago, to a friend of ours studio who offered his space generously, and we recorded the whole album in 2 days. So it was very tight, but we had a very, very good experience and got everything done. And then from there, we went to mastering. We worked with a really wonderful studio in the area, and then the rest was licensing and preparing for digital and physical release, and all the graphic design and photography that goes into that. We have a lot of wonderful people who helped us along the way to make that possible. And we did a lot of DIY ourselves. I think Mary probably deserves a graphic design degree at this point, because she pretty much put together the whole layout with the album art herself, which, I was just amazed at. But it's been really fun to learn about all that stuff that, it doesn't, there is creativity that always exists and spontaneity, but there is also that more logical, systematic side that has to play in, that more business side, which is also really important and is crucial to putting stuff together. But I think we ended up with something that we're really proud of and something that represents us and who we are really well.
Yeah, I would agree. In the CD is With Hope in Your Heart. As we mentioned, it was released and is available to purchase to the public right now. So we encourage you to go anywhere you can buy music, iTunes, and you can also get it at armoniamusicofficial.com. Talk about how this album, and it seems like it was more developed whenever it became parts of the planning. So I guess, how has your experiences changed in the 5 years from when you released the first album to now? You mentioned the licensing. You mentioned a lot of the back end stuff that people don't see. Is it becoming more of, and I don't want to make this sound negative because it's really exciting, is it becoming more of a job than when you released the first album?
I think that's a great question. And I think that we're, in a lot of ways, it still is that passion project for us. But taking on that digital release and all the licensing that we had to do definitely made it a lot more business-like. I think what's great is that, like Rachel mentioned, we're all three best friends, and really, honestly, more than just friends, we're really sisters. And so being able to have each other to lean on and work together, I think that is what makes it really doable when it even becomes kind of more getting down to business and getting things done.
There is a really big difference between our first and second CD. The first one was recorded in 2016, and I don't know, I'll be totally honest with you. I was really nervous being in that studio. It was our first time in a real recording studio, and it was all very real. I had the speakers in front of me, I had the big headphones on, and I was terribly nervous. And I think we really focused on singing songs that we thought other people might like to hear from us. And don't get me wrong, we sang songs that we really do enjoy, and we used our time as wisely as we could have. But when it came to making the second one, we really wanted to focus on songs that that mean a lot to us. We even gave ourselves the opportunity to have solos, which we didn't do on the first CD, which in hindsight, I'm kind of glad, because I was so nervous in that recording studio. I don't think I would have had enough confidence to sing a solo with effort, with effortlessness and with ease. But as we said before, with friendship and determination, we were able to take a deep breath and record a second one with more of a gentle heart and more camaraderie. And we are so thankful we got to even make a second one, because the first one definitely was a process. It was a big project. The first one doesn't even have as many songs as the second CD. So we knew what we were getting ourselves into. But a passion project is a great way to describe it. We are very proud of what we made.
Yeah, talk about the process of selecting the songs that go into a CD. It's not a matter of just, all right, well, we have 60, 90 minutes on the CD, however long it is, and we got to fill that time. I'm sure there's a process in which goes first as to which song follows when the solos come into play. It's not just showing up to a recording studio, having the sheet music in front of you and singing. There's so much more to that process.
So true.
Absolutely. You know, I think it's a lot has to do with, you know, for the solos, it's showcasing the instrument of the singer, you know, so we all chose pieces that really we felt showcased our vocal talent.
Which ones did you all choose? If we could just really quickly run through them. Mary, which was your solo song?
Sure. So I had a couple of solos. I chose Pure Imagination from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the famous musical. Josh Groban did a cover of it, and, you know, I was very inspired by that. And the other one was To Where You Are, a beautiful prayerful piece. And both of them kind of have this very soaring quality, and I like to kind of hit those high notes. And so getting those high notes for me, you know, is kind of my way to showcase my instrument, my voice.
That's awesome. Bernadette, what about your solos?
Sure. I picked When I Fall in Love. It's a beautiful song that I think is popular for a lot of weddings, and actually Mary had it at her wedding a couple of years ago in 2017, and that was one of the first times.
2018.
Oh, excuse me, 2018. My goodness. I know, it feels longer, right? Yeah, wow, it feels much longer. But yeah, so Mary had that as her first dance at her wedding in 2018, and it kind of rekindled my love for that song. So that was the first song I picked, and then the other song was When You Wish Upon a Star, which has just always been one of my favorite songs since childhood. That classic Disney song that Jiminy Cricket sings in Pinocchio. Yep. And I tend to really like the more gentle, lilting songs that have kind of a wide range, but more of like a soft tone to them, because I think that fits my voice pretty well. So something that kind of feels magical and dreamy is what I go for usually. So those two kind of fit me really well.
And then how about you, Rachel?
I wanted to pick two songs that were very reflective of who I am. And the first one I picked was really easy for me to choose. It's Beauty and the Beast, because anybody who knows me knows I'm nuts about Beauty and the Beast. It's my favorite Disney movie, my favorite Disney character. I've seen the musical like 5 times. So that was a no-brainer for me. And the second one is called Crazy, and it was written by Willie Nelson and originally sung by Patsy Cline. And the country is not usually a genre that the girls and I tap into very much, but I took it as a little representation of who I am and where I grew up. I used to live in the mountains of western Pennsylvania, living in the really wooded areas and listening to a lot of country music. And that was also a really easy choice for me, kind of giving a little high five to the area where I used to live. And it was something different that I could bring to the table. I know a lot of our friends and families really do like country, so I wanted to give them something they might like. Absolutely.
And Mary and Bernadette, I love your choices as well. I did one of the last musicals I ever did in my life was Beauty and the Beast, so that musical holds a special place in my heart as well. But the only difference is,
I ask what character you play?
Sure, I was Cogsworth, the clock, and I cannot sing I cannot sing like you all. Otherwise, I would have continued with musical theater. But yeah, it was a blast.
Oh, I love musical theater.
Musical theater is one of the best. Maybe we'll have to get you back on to talk musical theater at another point in time. But aside from the solos that you all did on your album, With Hope in Your Heart, you did this one song, and we're about to hear it as we go to break. Again, we encourage you to go check out their album, check out the website, armoniamusicofficial.com. The album is With Hope in Your Heart. Talk about A Mother's Prayer, which we're about to hear.
The Mother's Prayer is that just that. It's a prayer of a mother for her child, and it really is a prayer of peace for the world and hope for the world. One of the reasons we've been drawn to it is when Bern and I were even in high school and middle school, and just kind of starting out on our journey of music, we were requested to perform that song many times. And so in a way, we sort of had a love-hate relationship with it because of that. We sang it quite frequently. But now I'm a mom recently. My little guy is just about to turn a year old. I can't believe it. But as a mom myself, knowing the prayer and hope that you have for your child, and of course the prayers for the world, for a safe world, for a peaceful world, I think those hopes are really encapsulated in that song, and that's a big part of the reason we love it so much, and hope that you really hear that message as well, and hope the listeners hear it too.
ArmoniaMusicOfficial.com is the website. Mary Rivers, Rachel DiMartino, Bernadette Corso, thank you so much for joining us. And here is A Mother's Prayer by Armonia.
Give us faith so